Aries, hi, hello, this is Marta with Universal Power Tarot, and these messages we bring you here are supposed to encourage, elevate, and empower you, my dear Aries. Yay! Oh man, the energies of these past days have been quite intense, and I've been working with past lives, so past life retrieval, and that has been really intense, but I still wanted to come and do a video for you today. Gotta keep it moving. So, yeah. And of course, the reason I'm telling you this is because I'm sure it'll trickle into your reading and have significance for you. I also want to say thank you to whomever is doing, like, giving me money through Vimeo by purchasing extendeds and not watching them, donating basically anonymously. Thank you so much. It is very much appreciated. To all of you guys being here, showing your love and support for this channel, myself and the cause. Thank you very, very much. It is very much appreciated. All right, I hope you're all safe and well, and we're going to hop straight into your fusion reading. My dear Aries, I already pre-shuffled all of your cards. This is a general reading. It's timeless. And it means it may or may not resonate with you. Please only take what resonates and leave the rest behind, Aries, because that means it's for somebody else, right? It's not gender specific. You can reverse the placements. Yeah, and the messages are specifically designed for those that seek personal and or spiritual growth. So, they can be triggering. May not necessarily what you think you want to hear sometimes, but it's definitely what you need to hear and what spirit is giving you an idea about, like, your situation, right? And that's well, it's just, it is an idea for you to think about, something that could be true or could not be true depending on your situation, and then you decide whether you want to work with it or not. So this is just the indicator here, right? Okay, so let's hop into it. Aries, you have the Knight of Swords, which is quite a defensive kind of a stance here, and I feel this is you. Really in a defensive kind of a mode. And the funny thing is, your third card out is the Knight of Rods, which is also kind of a defensive mode. He doesn't quite have the sword, but it's still like a strong stick that can still hurt if need be, right? And we have a middle card here that is not seen yet. So there is a factor of unknowingness about a situation, and often that does put us on the defense because we're just like, all right, it's the unknown, so there may be fear involved. There may be ego involved that says, I can't really let go here because it's like a restriction of some sorts. It's like the ego and the mind are always trying to, or the mind anyways, is trying to protect us. And the ego doesn't want to let go of stuff sometimes or expand because it's like so used to an idea of something. May that being you as a person, or a belief or a pattern that is going on. And I noticed that in myself quite a bit, actually, like that kind of a resistance to something, and that's what that is. That is the mind, and that is the ego, and that's good. That's good and valid, right? It's really good and valid because it really does protect us from things. However, it is like also with the two knights here, it's not a king or an emperor, right? Which leads me to that this needs maturing, right? You're in the process of maturing. It's like a raw egg that still needs to be boiled. It's like that kind of a connotation. Breakfast, anyone? So yeah, and now we're coming to the third card here, and to the uncovering of the third card, and I'm quite curious what this is. And before we do so, I want to point out the acorns here. So this growing process that you're in currently, Aries, is something that is instilled within you, within your DNA, or whatever you believe in, right? It's that acorn. Acorn has all the possibilities and all the potential. This is about potential to grow into an acorn tree that in turn then has acorns to reproduce itself, right? So we could very well be talking about soul growth here, right? How the soul is trying to grow and expand within the body, and that is quite the process. Quite the process. Oh wow, and what you're not really seeing of course, is that new beginning with the Ace of Wands here, right? And huge transformation, right? And just right now, it feels like being on so much defense that you're not noticing that you're stepping right into this new beginning, new dawn. And it's not actually that far away. That's the funny thing about this. It's like you may not see it right now, because you're so much in that other stance. And again, that is not something bad at all. It's just the stance that you're taking currently, and that's good, because you will then, if you want to work through this and quickly, so this is really quickly, the new beginning is just there. It's there. You're in it right now already. That's cool. That's cool to know. You're in it right now. You're in that change right now. And it's really beautiful. It's in that cocoon. What I'm seeing is a cocoon, right? And when a caterpillar is going into a cocoon, and, because it ate so much before, had too many eggs for breakfast, right? So it's in that cocoon. And that's also kind of a hard shell, right? And it's like you're at that point of breaking through that hard shell, because you need more space anyways. A butterfly can never fly within that cocoon because it's just too restricted. It couldn't. So, oh wow, it couldn't spread its wings. I love that message. I can feel it in my heart. It's beautiful. I'm also getting impaired hearing for some of you, so this may affect your sense of balance and your hearing ability. I'm especially feeling it in my left ear. So that is something interesting. That is part of it. Of course, this is not medical advice. If this persists, yada, yada, yada. You know the deal, right? I'm not in the position to give you medical advice. However, this is from that process, okay? But if it persists, please go see a doctor. All right. And this is highly successful here. Absolutely successful. And again, this is something you don't necessarily see coming, because the transformative process, oh my goodness, already happened within that cocoon. So that's the awesome thing. And that's the awesome news for you, Aries. You may totally be in the darkness right now and be like, holy moly, like my head is about to explode with this new information and everything new. And I'm just like, what on earth? The truth of the matter, though, is you're about to break out of that cocoon, and you've done all the hard work already in that cocoon, but you can't see it yet because you haven't been given, oh my God, you haven't been given the experience of what it is to break out of that cocoon and then spread your beautiful wings, right? Stay in the sun for a while, relax and rest, because the breaking free is almost like a birthing process again, where that is physically demanding, and that is also building up strength, though, for your wings too, because you're going to need to fly. Like once you're out of that thing, you can't stay in that position, so that wiggling out is already building up the muscle for you to be at that point where you're just outside and like, yeah, I'm just going to let the energy come through the sun. The rays of the sun really give me the necessary energy. So there may be something in there for you. And vitamin D3 may be also very important for you. You may want to get your levels checked, or just feel within yourself, is that something that you need in addition to balance out, because that's a hormone essentially, or has the function of a hormone, the vitamin D3. So you also want to be careful of that intake. So a lot is coming through, as you can tell. This is specific, of course, not for all of you. Please don't go buy run to your nearest pharmacy and buy all the vitamin D3 that you can find. Please inform yourselves, all right? And make sure that that's what you really need. This is for some of you, of course, only. So, but it's feeling the energies of the sun, and I can truly feel it as I'm speaking about it. And it's gorgeous, and it's this amazing freedom as you're out there, and you're right on the brink of that. And it doesn't feel like that to you at all right now. But that's where you're at, and it's really a beautiful place. You'll see, you'll be so surprised, because it's going to happen faster than you think. And then it's like, yay, we're starting to fly, Aries. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful. Work with the elementals. They're going to give you a lot of help. I recently worked with water spirits and really asked them, because we had heavy rainfalls, and then there were rivers, like tiny rivers, like flowing like in the mud. These river flows, river beds had been formed because of all the rain, and it really had this gorgeous curve, and I was like, wow, that's like a really huge river just in tiny form. So I'm like, wow. And I just sat there for a minute and looked at that river like in amazement. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I asked for that tiny river to take some of my emotion and some of my tears, because it's heavy cleansing that is happening right now for me, like on the emotional level and heart level. So yeah, and and I have to tell you one more thing that is maybe for some of you important as well. There was a little snail, and the little snail I noticed a little while later, because it was so, I could hardly see it, right? Because it was tiny, and it wanted to go down to that river, but because of the house, it was so much bigger and seemed to be something that the snail couldn't possibly carry, right? Especially not down, because there was quite the incline, or decline in that case, decline. And so she tried for a little bit, it tried, and then it realized, I thought she was going to fall down because of the heaviness of the house, right? So but she didn't. She held on, and she realized, oh, that's too steep still. I can't go down to that river yet. So what she instead did is she came back up, and she really managed to like keep that house on your back. So that may be a reminder for you about stability and how much strength you actually have inside you unknowingly. And again, you finding that out through that process. And as I'm speaking on it, I can feel a restriction in my throat chakra. And that is to me about like emotions, total emotions stored in here, and uncried tears, unspoken stuff. That's that. You know how we sometimes want to cry and then we get this kind of a knot in our throat? That's that. And that's what I can feel heavily here. So cry, cry, let it out. It's going to be so much better afterwards. And then I went to the lake, and oh man, all of a sudden I could perceive like water spirit, and I could see it. I could see the energy and literally see it, where before I was only able to feel it, I could then see it. And maybe this helps some of you in clarifying what you may have seen yourselves, or it's definitely a connotation to get in touch with the elementals, to just ground yourself and ask for their help. Don't be shy about this, Aries, okay? Thank you so much. You have the hooded man with a little tiny wren here, which is kind of like that snake that we just talked about, right? It's kind of like that. It's like the hooded man all by itself. All of a sudden it's winter, and he's like, how did that happen? I don't even know. It's really like that. It's like the hermit card, right? So it's like he is looking, it's really like that. That's like that's like you, Aries, looking at that tiny snail and being like, oh hey, cool, you're here too. It's like that. That's wonderful. And really looking at them, and the wren in turn is looking back at the hooded man in this case, and it's like, yep, I'm here too, and I'm here to help you, I'm here to assist you. And these are tiny beings, right? Yet they have such a huge effect, and they can also comfort us a great deal. And that's what that is. Hermiting is really going inward, and much like the cocoon state, right? And that doesn't have to be over a month. Again, this is something that happens fairly fast. I don't know how long butterflies stay in their cocoon. I think something around 30 days. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I don't think it's too long, right? And that's what this is talking to about too. This is going to be ending sooner than you think, Aries. Sooner than you think. And it's about really finding out who you truly are. Like that's using the potential of your soul more, coming into more of yourself. Yeah, I'm getting some kind of an impatience with that as well. Some kind of an impatience, come to the point kind of a thing. But that is the point. And everything is part of that. Everything you hear me say here is part of the reading. Everything you experience in your own life is part of that specific transformation. Don't try to ignore it or think that it's just like an annoyance kind of a thing, which it really, it's easy to feel that for sure. And that's okay too. Like every emotion here you feel is valid, is what I'm meaning to say, and is very much part of your journey here. Thank you so much. Oh, there's, oh, ah, ha, ha, ha. That's so funny. All right, we have 2 cards. You have the 3 of Stones with creativity, which is exactly that, making that beautiful bond with Mother Earth, making the bond with the stones. For example, stones are so awesome because they've been here for so long. And it takes such a long time for them to really disintegrate, right? I don't know how long. I don't know. Maybe you know it and you can drop it in the comments. Of course, that depends on the size of the stone. What I'm just noticing here is a horse and a bull right here. Right here. I hope you can see it right there in the stone. It's a stone carving. This is like talking about you in your earlier lives, and we're coming to past lives now, having left a message for yourself, like in the form of a stone carving. In this case, it can be interpreted as anything else though, right? Leaving a message for yourself, and you're now coming back and making the connection with that again. So you could be really doing like soul retrieval, like fractured soul parts of yourself. You could do that and really experiencing that. And there's so much advice in this for you, so much advice. Excuse me, please. And it's also very strong energy. A bull is incredibly strong, like a wild horse is so strong. That's the epitome for me when we talk about freedom, right? Being free, like running across the country wherever you want to go, right? And that's what that is. That could also talking about, well, like traveling, right? Through meditation, through trance, whatever this is for you, whatever you're doing in your life. I don't know what you're doing. So and yet staying grounded and staying connected to the present moment. And it's much like building this solid monument here. That's what that is. And it's really solid, and you right in the middle of it, and very connected with it here, right? Okay, guys, we have this 3rd card here, which is the Queen of Vessels with the Solomon. I'm going to read that to you in the extended. 2 cards flew out. 1 guardian angel card, which is positive change. It says, dare to be different. When you are criticized, remember that you will never please everyone. Many brilliant and gifted individuals were not fully appreciated or understood in their own lifetime. Yet it is often they who have sown the seeds of change. That is gorgeous. There's another one that already popped out for you. I'm going to read that to you in the extended. So if you're interested in that, and if that resonated with you, please come follow me over to Vimeo and or Patreon. The links you'll find down below. You can check out both platforms and see what suits you best. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for liking, for your beautiful comments, subscriptions. Yeah. Thank you for all the love that you share with this whole entire tribe here, and just for you being here. I really appreciate this. I'll see you either over on Vimeo and Patreon, or I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.